Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Raine Plays. Today we're at Fountain View Penthouse. We're still in the Arts Quarter. I have to say goodbye to this CC item. And these are what Cass gave me the first time around. But then I got to this place and I'm like, whoa. I made too many people. Well, I accepted too many people. So I went back and I made these two ladies. Molly Greer, she's a gardener, and Trisha Bird is a tech guru. I was excited when I first got here. I thought this place was cool. What I especially thought was cool is that everything is playable. Windows, doors, walls, the roof, even the elevator. This hallway there when you get off the elevator, you can manipulate that. The whole thing was yours to play with. I wanted to stick with the exterior facade though, so I kept some windows and the exterior brick and stuff the same, but I'm still very disappointed in this build because I had something in mind. I was very excited to get into it, and things kind of changed as I went along, and it didn't turn out the way I had hoped it would, I think. Is that what I'm trying to say? I kind of, I think that's what I mean. I had the loft in mind, but when I did it, it just didn't look right. I wasn't happy with it. I gave an extra room above the bathroom here. I had intended that for like office space or something, and I ended up making a second bath. Things went wrong. I didn't care for the position of this place. I didn't know why you would have the... What is the word? I've been saying the word and I completely lost it now. The conservatory. Why would you have the conservatory facing another apartment building? So I turned it so that it was facing the concourse, so there was just open space there. And I had intended that to be like a music room and just a quiet study. I don't know, with like maybe a couple bookcases or something. This thing here. And it turned into a greenhouse. I know I can come back and do it again. You know, I'm not that dumb, but this was a disappointment. I'm not pleased with the outcome of this build. I wish I knew how stuff like that happens, because I worked on this all day yesterday. All day. I started at about 10 o'clock in the morning and I finished at about 10 o'clock at night. And I played them for a little bit. I let a couple days go by. I think I learned a few things. Is it festivals that slow down time even if the sim isn't participating? Because I noticed there was some fireworks thing going on at 2:30 in the sim AM, and it ended around 4 or something. And as soon as everybody walked away from the concourse, my time completely sped up, because that whole time that was going on, my sims were asleep, but I couldn't get the clock to move forward. And then the minute that thing broke up, the clock started to speed ahead. And it was a festival day. Like I said, my sims just didn't participate. I don't know. I could be wrong. It's probably something else entirely. But that beautiful vase ended up doing the MC command thing again. Oh, you got a bad CC here. And it does say mod or CC, so I just didn't see that the first time. And this message is going to continue to pop up until you take care of it. And I'm like, I didn't use any CC this time. So I went through the whole place. I'm looking. There's no rugs. There's none of the... I don't even have CC furniture. And the girls were at work. So I'm like, it can't be their hair. And then I went out in the hallway and I'm like, oh my goodness, no. That was my favorite CC item. And I have to get rid of it. It's so pretty. But anyway, no big deal. Well, it is a big deal. It's a sad deal. I got a dumb story for you, I guess. Well, it just proves how dumb I am. And at my age, it should be shameful, and it probably is. I did that part here for a joke. I'm like, yeah, you can put a pool here, but what about the people who live below? They're going to have this big pool thing hanging down in their apartment. It's silly. Because I was thinking about doing a pond. And then I'm like, no, that is just so rude. And I know you're being too realistic for this game, but my goodness. Can you imagine living below these people? Having to put up with their ponds and their pools hanging down into their rooms? I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it to the Sims that don't even exist. Anyway, dumb story. Very dumb story. But it's just proof of, me and my dumbness. I've never understood why people have to be mean. I know that sounds dumb, and there's probably even a better way to say it, and I can't think of a better way to say it. I just don't understand mean people. And they hurt me more than they should, especially strangers, And our mailman. I've tried on several occasions to make eye contact. I say hello, I smile at him if we happen to be crossing paths or anything, and he completely blows me off. And I'm like, well, fine. But today, he dropped off some mail that doesn't belong to us. It was a completely different address and name and everything. So I was going to take it to the house, but I had turned in the wrong direction. So I thought, all right, I'll get it on the way back. I'll just come down the long way. But as I turned the corner, I saw him doing his route. So I parked the car and I got out and I'm like, excuse me. And he saw the envelope, so he waved me over and I went up to him. And I'm not saying it's not my fault. I tend to do this. I get nervous trying to talk to people I don't know. So I babble. I just go on, and it's not intentional, but it happens. And I said, this goes the other way, and it's in my hand, and I'm not Italian, but I use my hands to talk, okay? But I kind of held it out, and I said, this is from the other block, and then I turned to say, have you been there yet? And he was walking away. And it kind of stunned me, and I'm just looking at his back, and then all of a sudden he looks over his shoulder, he goes, are you going to give that to me or not? And I froze, like I always do, because my mind is going, what the F just happened here? What did I do now? What did I say to get this guy going, And then he comes stomping back to me, and he ripped it out of my hand and walked away. And again, I just stood there, dumbfounded, like a complete idiot. And then I turned to leave, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, yeah, have a nice day. Because that was the best I could come up with. I don't know whether he even heard me. I know he wouldn't care. It was stupid. It was stupid of me to even say that. What's stupider is that I let it upset me. I got really upset, and I'm like, why do people do this to me? It happens more often than I care to even think about. But here was me. All I was trying to do was something nice. I was going to tell him, if you've already been that way, I'll be more than happy to drop it off for you. But I didn't even get a chance because he was being a total dick. And I just don't understand it. It's like, why? Here's the thing. In my entire life, I would never, no matter how upset I am, no matter how angry someone makes me, I would never, ever treat someone like that. Ever. And yet, it's constantly happening to me. And that's where I get upset. It's like, what is this about? Do unto others, and if you're nice, people will be... It's bullshit. Absolutely, at least for me. And yet it's my fault because I don't seem to change, or I don't recognize it, and I don't know how to explain it. All I know is I can let a complete stranger, and a bastard at that, affect my day. And that's where I get so angry and upset. Why can't I just walk away? Why do I have to let absolutely disgusting people like that affect me? And I don't know the answer. But he completely ruined my day. I didn't even think I would be able to do this, and it doesn't sound like I can because I am choked up, and it's dumb. I know he's not worth it. I know he's not. But I can't get past that because the constant with me is, what did I do? What did I say or do to make him treat me that way? What have I done wrong? And then the second question, why are you trying to be nice in the first place? You know what happens when you try to do a favor for someone. You know what's going to happen because it happens every freaking time. And I never learn. So I end up feeling this way for a number of reasons, and none of them are good. I have never, and I'm not saying I want to be rewarded, but I don't know how else to say it. I have never had like the full circle thing or whatever. All those good deeds, none of them have come back. Not a single one. So I'm not a fan of idioms and, all those lighthearted, hey, all you gotta do is be nice and everybody be nice back. Good deeds don't go unpunished. Well, good deeds don't go unpunished. Is that the problem? I'm being punished for my good deeds? Hey, I just realized, am I saying that wrong? No good deed goes unpunished? Unnoticed? Well, is that an enlightenment moment for me? That's my story. Very typical of my life. And I'm stupid, I know. I already know that. That's why I'm beating myself up, because I am stupid. I do things that I shouldn't do, and I let people get to me when I shouldn't. I know. And then looking at this bigger and then I go through to do the walkthrough, and I forgot to turn on the lights. I hope it's light enough for you guys to see, but there's nothing much to see anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, this is not what I had in mind. You'll see the loft in a minute. I don't know, maybe this is just a big open space for one person, and that's where I made my mistake. I don't quite know where it derailed, but I just know that it did. And I'm really getting tired of those 3 height walls. Oh my gosh, I would love to go back to normal walls. And that's another dumb thing. I could have lowered them to the second height that I like so much, but I didn't. Because like I said, this whole thing, it's all yours. You can do whatever you want with it. I was a little surprised at that. I'm like, whoa, really? And I was confused. These bus terminal things where you hide under them, I remember using those in a playthrough at a house. I put it out front to cover some seating area so they wouldn't get struck by lightning or wet or something. So I was getting tired of that. And they worked. It said it was shelter. Then I went and put them out there I wanted the garden to go under that. Not in here. I wanted it all out there. And none of them were sheltered. Not a single one. And I'm like, what? It worked before. Why doesn't it work now? I don't know. So I think that's why I ended up moving everything into the conservatory. Because I had the piano there first. Then I had to move it out. So that's probably where things started going downhill. I like it here. I wouldn't mind doing a playthrough in this particular building if I had better equipment, because as you can plainly tell, you can't really goof around up here with the recording software I'm using. It's just not cutting it. It keeps... I don't know how to explain it, but it's showing a lot more than it should. The higher up I go, the view gets really weird. Things disappear and then they come back, and see, nothing's there and now it's there. It just keeps happening the higher up I go. So you're probably going to hear my mother's radio in the background. I'll apologize for that now. There's not much I can do about it. It's in an odd corner of the living room, and she's sitting around from it, so she blasts it. But I already told you guys she's deaf. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.